Viewers' questions. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video I am going to answer some of the questions that the viewers have been asking underneath the video. So this is one of our recent videos, where are the mining jobs for new starters? And we did this 6 days ago, and someone's asked, hey mate, could you do a video and give them some advice about moving from the processing or the mill to getting onto the ROM loader? Okay, so with the ROM loader, it's just about experience doing the job and understanding the job, and actually some loader experience. It doesn't take long to get the loader experience up. More what you're after, the knowledge that you need to get your head around is what particular way that the ROMs loads the crusher up and what blends that they use and all that sort of stuff, so you're taking the right stuff from the right area. It's really important that you get your blend right when you feed the crusher, so whether it's 5 from low grade and 2 from high grade, or 10 from low grade and 3 from the medium grade and 1 from high grade, whatever the right mix is, that's what you need to send through. I've worked on a mine site before where they got a guy in that was an inexperienced ROM loader operator. He'd done civil work with loading, and he didn't understand that you couldn't just feed it all through at once, and so he took it upon himself just to run all the high grade through because it was closer to where he was loading the crusher from, and all that he did was flush about $3 million worth of gold out to the tailings dam because the mill couldn't process it. So it's really important to understand the jobs when you're going for these jobs. It's like anything else, and the more that you know about the industry, the more that you know about the job, the easier it is to get the job. So I would just start applying for the ROM loader jobs, saying on your resume that you work in the mill and you want to go from the mill up to the ROM. That's probably the easiest way to get that sort of thing going. Or the other way that you could look at doing it is going into an underground role, because there's a lot of jobs down there, and that will give you more familiarization with the ROM, because as a truck driver you'll spend a lot of time up there, and then I've seen people make the jump that way as well. I'd get my mining knowledge up to speed with the intro to underground mining, the DIY package there. It doesn't cost a real lot, so you can actually hold a conversation with the employer about how it all works. Because like I said, when they bring people on, if they bring people on green, you end up getting a whole heap of gold flushed out to the tailings dam because they don't do the job properly. So they want people that they can throw in the deep end. So let's move on to our next video, which is our mining job hunt video that we just did a couple of days ago. And this is another one that we can have a look at. There's a couple here that are of the same theme. I'm from Ireland. I want to come and work in the mines in September, wondering what I could do. Experience knowledge is what it's like for foreigners with visas and all that sort of stuff. I see for visas it says you should get your working holiday visa, but it only lets you work up to 6 months. Yeah, it does, and that's one of the biggest problems with the... Before they changed this visa law, and they've only changed it just temporary, it allows backpackers and people that are on the visas that give you permanent working rights to grab mining jobs, but they really want you to go to a mining town, so that's one of the big things. Sometimes they'll let you do it for the fly and fly out. It just depends on the company. The other problem that you've got is the companies. Now, the companies may not want to take somebody on that's only going to be there for 6 months without the option of extending. Now, I know a lot of these visas have got the option of extending, and there's another person down here that's talking about that they've got a visa that's going to go, that they've got for a couple of years. It might not be on this job page. It might be on another one. Oh, yep, I have a 2-year visa. Thank you in advance. So it's the same question. It's 2-year visa, so you're probably more likely to get a job with the 2-year visa than the 6-month one. But it's all about giving the employers what they want, somebody that they can throw in the deep end. And again, the best way to do that is to educate yourself. You can do that with the DIY Intro to Underground Training. It's $4.95. If you want some help, they've got the Work Ready, which is the $12.50, which brings me on to the next question that I was going to talk about, which is this one. With 30 years of experience as a tool maker and machinist, I worked in a light heavy machinery, fitting up to 10,000 kg, produce projects for mining, defence, agriculture, automotive. This is all machining type stuff, and the problem that you've got with your skills like there's an area that you can probably get into with your you're doing anything from maintenance, fitting, which is probably the area of your transferable skills, machine, press design, all that sort of stuff. Because the problem that you've got with all those skills is that they don't normally do any of that stuff on the mine site, because the mine site, you don't have enough time to fix anything. Everything's new for old. So the job that you probably be looking at is a maintenance fitter here. So jumping on as a fitter, and then a breakdown fitter. So it's all replacement. And there's a lot of servicing that goes on of the equipment up there as well. So you've got your 250, your 125, your 250, your 500, your 1000, and your more substantial services that the fitters are always doing. So you've got all that stuff that's going on site. But if something actually breaks down, like you do an engine or something like that, it's pull the old engine out, have a new engine there, put the new engine in, and get it back to work as quick as possible. So that's why you don't have a lot of those machinist type roles. If they break anything with the hydraulics, it's pull the old hydraulic ram off, send it down to the capital city that the mine's located near, into the workshop down there, get it fixed down there, and send it back up. It's the same with shutdown work. The reason that they do shutdown work in the frame that they do it is because you can't stop running the mill. You want to plan maintenance of the mill is the planned maintenance of the mill. It's the only time that they want the mill stopped. Apart from that, they want the mill running, because if the mill's not turning and they're not producing gold, that means that nobody's making any money. So if you've just got ad hoc downtime on your mill, then that's gold that or minerals or processing time that you're never going to get back. So that's all money lost, and that's why you can't have that downtime, and that's why they do it in a shutdown sense, where they list all the jobs, they bring everybody up to site that needs to be done, like the boiler makers and the machinists and all that sort of stuff. They'll close the mill for however long they need to close it down for, 5, 6, 7, 10 days. I mean, they'll be freaking out if it's down for 10 days. Most of them are down for 3 to 7 days, and they bring everybody up to site. They suspend mining in the area of the mill, so the mining rules don't apply. I've just done a video on tickets that you can go and have a look at about the mining rules, so they suspend those mining rules. And so it's just that way you can use your tickets and all that sort of stuff like you would on a construction site. They turn it into a construction site while the shutdown workers are there, and then when they've done their job and they leave, they turn it back into a mine site and the mining rules apply again. It's really important to understand that. And again, with all these questions that people are asking, the majority of your questions can be solved by learning how the mine works. And in this particular case, for somebody in your position, MS, the work ready one, it's more expensive, but you get one of us shift bosses to mentor you. And we've had a lot of people come through as sparkies, auto sparkies, diesel mechanics, all that sort of stuff, sign up for the work ready and get that extra one-on-one help, so we can talk to you about actually how your skills are going to fit into the actual crew jobs that you're going for. And that's the best thing about doing something like the work ready, is you get all the information that's in the DIY. You still do the 4 online courses, and you still have access to the seminar and all that sort of stuff. But with the work ready, they redo your resume. You get one of us shift bosses to help prep you with interviews. It becomes our job to make sure that you've understood the mining information. And in your case, in something like this, we could talk to you at length about where your current skills are going to land in your mining job, because it's not just a short-term thing. You really got to sit down with somebody and probably talk to them for 15, 20, maybe even half an hour to understand what their skills are, where they've come from, and give them an idea of where they're going to. And to be able to translate that into actual practical information, you have to know everything that's in the training, so you know how the mine works. So when I tell you where your skills are going to translate to, you've really got an understanding of where they are actually going to translate to in the mining setting, because you know how the mine works. If you don't know how the mine works, then honestly it's a waste of your time and it's a waste of my time, because you're not going to pick up the relevant information that we're trying to pass on to you. So that's one of the ways I would go with that. And so that's viewers' questions. If you've got any more questions, please send them through. More than happy to answer them. It's if you could share this information around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.